I've decided to focus on the songwriting element and really how that's become part of my journey, and it had a major impact actually for me. So I've been writing bits of poetry since my youth, and in my youth had my poetry corrected by my grandfather, and was rather put off at that point. Didn't do very much more of it. As a young adult, I had a quite meaningful and upsetting event when a friend of mine, Paul Lyons, died very young and very suddenly. And the emotional experience caused me to reflect and think about how I might be able to produce something of a creative nature that had emotional content, that was actually a way of outpouring that emotion for me. So I suppose the use of language to be expressive, to include emotion and connect with other people at that stage became something that I felt I might be able to harness. But I didn't really have any confidence or any knowledge in what I was doing. Since then, I've been involved in various projects that have caused me to sing more and develop my belief in myself as a singer and enjoy singing, but also to do some songwriting included within that. One really important project to me was the Mills and Chimneys project, working alongside Mike Smith, Julian Butt, Ellie Lucas, David Gibb, and Lucy Ward. Those people had a lovely influence on me and encouraged my songwriting and my singing as part of that project. I've written some emotional pieces for myself and for my family as well recently, when my cousin's daughters actually in America have got married. It's caused me to think about what that means for them and my connection with them and how I want to write something emotional for that special occasion. So Alice Wheeldon and her family and her quite traumatic and tragic story has been a real source of inspiration. This last year, where Moirai have committed themselves to writing a musical output of music and song that tells somebody's true life story, has been an incredible opportunity. Very, very focused work to make sure that we have an endpoint. Derby Festival, Saturday, the 5th of October. That is our point when everything has to be finished. The premiere of the show needs to be ready. So in order to have a CD to sell at that point, to give to people, to make sure they get the message, you need to record it by a certain point. You need to have the songs written and the material written by a certain point. Between us, Moirai have produced 20 pieces of music and song. And a vast amount of which is lyrical, because it needs to tell this important story about Alice. I used to think maybe there was a correct way of writing songs, and that I needed to go and learn how to do that, and I needed somebody to teach me. But actually, I have found through the process of the development of this project that there are multiple ways of approaching songwriting, and that's fine. Sometimes it comes as a poem, first of all. Sometimes it's just a snippet of a sentence that you've read somewhere when you're doing research about an individual. And I really like doing research. I'm actually rubbish at reading books from start to finish, because I always feel like there's something more important I should be doing with my time, which I know is absolute rubbish, but it's the way that my brain works. But when it comes to researching something and really getting into the nitty gritty and wanting to acquire that book, read that book from cover to cover, go to the libraries, research material, I'm really interested in that and really motivated. So yeah, sometimes it comes from just a line, something, a snippet of something that you've read, and you think that's it, that's the chorus, that has to be the heart of this next piece. When you get the whole piece, the whole kind of work nearly finished, you might think to yourself, actually, I need to, this particular piece now needs to have this feel for the overall effect to be there. So there might be a motivation from that, and you might design the melody first of all, or whatever. It might be something as ridiculous as I remember the song that is about Alice. and her character and her nature, the fact that she was a mother to all and she was always welcoming and comforting others, and that she has there's a lot of material written about the way in which she was kind of there for everybody. And I was just unloading the dishwasher in the kitchen one day, and this little phrase came out, "My door is always open." And that was it. That was the start of the chorus for that particular song. And that might be ridiculous, but sometimes these little moments just happen, and you go, yes, that's it. I'm going to keep that little expression and that little musical phrase as well, and then the rest of the song will just come. And I think probably by the time I'd finished emptying the dishwasher that morning, I had at least a verse and a chorus down, round and round in my head. Now we've reached the end of this project, and there will be many more, I'm sure. I honestly feel that I can call myself a songwriter now. It's taken me a long time to get there, but I now feel that if I'm tasked with the challenge of writing a song for a particular event or reason, if I was, commissioned to do something, that's a thing that I would be able to do. And it's whenever there's a connection and an emotional content, something that I can feel, that I'm passionate about, or a connection with the local environment. The Mills and Chimneys project and the Alice Wheeldon project both had that tremendous local connection, and I feel very much embedded in Derby and Derbyshire and traditional culture in this region, be it to do with songwriting or singing or performing or dancing, or I'm very into all of that, and really feel like I want to give a lot of my time to that. I really feel like Alice Wheeldon and her story and her family has been an incredible vehicle for my development and building of confidence in that area. And I really want to say thank you for that, actually, because it's not every day that a gift of a project comes along and suggests itself, and you actually grow and develop as a creative human being yourself. So thank you to Alice.